most of the goals around nutrition are either lose weight, increase weight, so increase body, like improve your body composition to increase like muscle mass, or it's improve performance, right? All three of those, you need high quality nutrition. You need good food, which is important for all your body functions, right? From a health perspective. But if the goal is to lose weight or put on weight, and that's the only goal, and there isn't the health goals that come with it, then all that matters is your energy balance, full stop.
And in this moment, I swear, we are infinite.
Let's do this! Come on!
Mounting!
It's too damn hot for a penguin to be just walking around.
3, 2, 1, eagle!
Are these two doctors?
I'm afraid so.
And here we go.
This is Simon Cooper.
Lachlan Wallace.
We're back.
Welcome.
Oh,
Episode number 4 of the Virtus podcast.
Season 2.
Season 2.
The Big Rocks.
Yeah.
Tell me about the Big Rocks.
This is going to be a good one. I think a lot of people are going to get some value out of this conversation. The Big Rocks. I think this is going to be a pretty tactical conversation. There's going to be some tangible things that people can walk away and start to implement straight away. But essentially, the big rocks are the big things in our life that contribute toward our health and well-being. It's like the low-hanging fruit that we can pick up and run with and make the biggest change to how we feel.
The foundation. It's the shit that we know we should do, but sometimes we're too much. We follow our lizard brain too much, and we lean into our what's the word I'm looking for? Our primal urges more than we should, and we make poor decisions on the things that we know we should do.
Yeah.
I don't think any of this is a technical problem. People aren't missing the information. We know we should sleep. We know we should eat good food. We know we should hydrate. We know we should move. So then the conversation needs to be around, okay, why don't we do these things?
Yeah. None of this is groundbreaking stuff either. It's all simple things that we need to do to survive and to feel good.
Yeah. I think that survive, let's change the word survive to thrive, because we can get by on inadequate nutrition. Inadequate's maybe the right word. We can get by on poor nutrition. We can get by on low hydration. We can get by on 4 hours sleep. We can get by sitting down and doing fuck all day. But if we want to thrive and live a life where we're able to have the capacity and grow the capacity to do all the cool shit we want to do, then these are more imperative than anything else we do.
Yes.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
And we're done.
We're done.
Let's frame this conversation a little bit more around maybe the time that we're in now, where I think people are neglecting these big things because of the state of like fear and anxiety that we're in during the pandemic, and then I think the other thing is that people always look at the edges. They look at like the next fad diet, the next like exercise program, but neglect the foundational stuff that they should be doing.
Too often, like in our profession, we get asked the question of, well, what exercise should I do? What's this new exercise? Or what supplements should I be taking? Or where's, like, if we would draw a pyramid, like the foundation, this is the stuff we're talking about, is good sleep, good nutrition. And I almost, been in the industry a long time now, I almost like shirk at those conversations because it's just like, well, like we're missing the forest for the trees. Here are the things that will help you improve more than everything else. If you're ticking those boxes, ticking them consistently and doing it well, then we can have the conversation around, what superfluous supplements do we add to make you know, that 1% better? But if we're missing the 80% at the other end, then we're almost wasting our time having those conversations. Because, you know, if you're if you're having 4 hours sleep and, you know, want to take some melatonin to improve that 4 hours, you probably should just find a way to extend that sleep out, so that you're actually getting
to get more
quality sleep and having those 3 things. So I think it's make sure that you're making sure that the basics are ticked off, and you know, saying things like do the basics well and the fundamentals, like, you know, there's cliches like the basics are the basics because they work. It's cliche, it is. Here's another cliche. Cliches are cliches because they are things. It's mostly true. So if we can get our head around
cliches 3 times fast.
Cliches. We can get our head around doing the basic shit well, then, you know, whether our goals are centered around athletic development, whether they're around, you know, taking over the world from a business perspective, or, you know, just looking after your health and well-being and your family. Like, if we can do these things well, we have more capacity to do those things. If we don't do these things well and we want to look after our family, we're going to be short with them because we're tired and lacking in sleep. We're not going to have the energy levels to be able to run after our kids. We're not going to have the capacity because we're dehydrated to actually talk around the things that we want to talk about. So we give up so much if we don't do these things well.
Yeah. And the thing about these big 4 rocks, or the fundamentals or the basics, is that they're not sexy. We can't, like,
sleep is the sexiest thing in the world
want.
Sometimes.
Look, I agree with you. I'm on the same page, but they're basic things that we know we should be doing, but we're always looking for the sexy thing, or the shortcut, or the 1%ers.
Yeah, we're looking for the dopamine and serotonin dumps that come from, like, the short-term gratification, which impact these more than we probably realize. You know, whether it's scrolling on our phone, or having a beer instead of some water, or, you know, having the third body connoisseur for the week rather than, you know, having a banana or an apple or something like that. Like, there's the gap. It's you know, what we want now versus what we want later. It's almost, they're competing commitments.
Yes. Yep. Well, let's get stuck straight into what the 4 rocks are, and the format for this is, let's just dive into each rock, explore it a little bit, give you some strategies, and then we'll kind of wrap it up at the end.
Yeah, and each one of these, like, just to preface this conversation, we know that it's like an infinite deep dive that we can take on each one of these. Like, there's an immense amount of nuance and almost dogma that we could dive into and try and peel apart the differences and things like that. But I guess the aim for this conversation is for everyone just to leave knowing, okay, well, here's a couple of things I can do to improve my sleep. Here's a couple of things I can do to improve nutrition, movement, et cetera, et cetera. Here's a few targets that I can try and hit, so that I know that I'm going to be more capable down the track. And that's pretty much it. That's what
we've done a little bit of research. We've done
a little bit of research.
Based on
all right, Karen.
Our own experiences and
this conversation's backed up by, we've both been in this industry for 10 years. We see what works, we see what doesn't. We follow the research, but we also have a level of a big bank of anecdotal evidence that we see works. So I guess the conversation around these 4 things, we're going to talk what's optimal, and what's optimal is going to be different for every human being. Okay. There's no argument there. If Simon and I are pretty similar body shape, similar, like, I'm obviously more jacked and better looking and things like that, but we're very similar.
Debatable. My mum would think differently.
Please. We're very similar, but if we ate exactly the same thing, trained exactly the same way, slept the same, and on hydration, drank the same amount of water, then we would still have different outcomes, and we would have slightly different outputs. So it's important to understand that you are all unique little snowflakes, but the basics that make up the the optimal, trying to get to the optimal level are pretty similar. And then there's, nuance and shifts from there. So let's get stuck into it. Let's get into movement. We can start with movement.
Yeah, let's start there. I think it's like this is one of the cornerstones of what we do at Virtus. We help people move well and move often. And stealing that a little bit from FMS, but that is essentially what we want to communicate. That daily movement, regardless of, let's take apart the intentional exercise part for the moment.
Yeah. Because
of course that's important, but we're talking about moving the whole system, our body, regularly throughout the day.
Yeah, I think we can look at it almost two sides of the conversation. There's the health side of the conversation of movement, and then there's the performance or training side of the conversation. And you can't lean into the training side, the performance side, unless you've ticked the boxes with the health side. Okay, so the health side is being free of pain, being able to move well, to not have any. We use the term handbrakes at Virtus. It's to not have any handbrakes. Is for us to be able to perform the things we need to perform, and adapt the way we need to adapt without any negative consequences. So the term functional has been bastardized by Bosu ball salesmen and people who do shake weights and stuff like that. But what the important part of functional is it's your ability to adapt to an internal or external stimulus, and it's the ability to pick up the kids, or it's your ability to go for a run and do these things without pain and do these things without making you worse. And that's the most important part of movement. Is we want to make ourselves better. We want to grow our capacity to be healthy, and then we can add the capacity from a training perspective, which is teaching all your body systems to do more and be better. And then obviously you get to the point, if we're talking a continuum or a body triangle, it doesn't matter. But if we get towards the end of the performance continuum, that's going to impact on your health. So if you're training for, say, an Ironman, or you're training to be a top level, whatever it is, then you're going to give up some health at that end. But the basis of what allows you to do that is that big, strong base of health and well-being to start off with. So I guess we talk about daily movement versus training. What are the things that we can do from a daily movements perspective to allow us to be healthier and happier? Full stop. Question mark.
I think at the moment it's more difficult because we're stuck at home and we're limited by how much time we can spend outside and where we can go. But I think a simple way to move often is to get up from your desk, get up from your workspace and walk around the house or go for a walk outside. I think we're in a society or a culture where we're sitting down for 8 hours plus a day. We're sitting down more than we sleep. And we need to almost take every opportunity that we can in order to get up, move, and express ourselves in a physical domain.
Yes. Yeah, I think the simple targets for that is I don't know, whatever arbitrary number you choose to do. Like every hour you move for 10 minutes, or every day you try and hit 10,000 steps and you spread it out however you want. Or a big aspect of what we do at Virtus is teaching people to understand what they need and how their body's feeling. So breathing correctives and Bretzel is how we kind of unlock that at Virtus. And if you don't know what a Bretzel is, just Google it. Jump on the Virtus YouTube channel. I'm pretty sure we've got a couple of videos explaining it. But the Bretzel is like a diagnostic tool to go, okay, how am I feeling? What do I need? And those clients, members that we have that are working from home at the moment, my suggestion is, all right, jump into Bretzel every 20 minutes, every 30 minutes. Just go, okay, what am I feeling? And then give yourself that. It might be just some mobility. It might be just be movement flow. It might be a mobility session. It might be just some crocodile breathing. Whatever it is, allow yourself to ensure that you're not losing capacity by sitting all the time. The issue is that we we take it too far the other way and we go, okay, well, I've been sitting for 8 hours. I better go smash myself training for an hour to make up for it. Whereas like anything, we're going to be better off little bits at a time. If you're going to eat an elephant, you're not going to try and eat it all at once.
One bite at a time.
One bite at a time.
We fall into that trap of letting ourselves off the hook because we tell ourselves that we train at a high intensity for 60 to 90 minutes every day, or every second day. But if we look at the whole day or the whole week, which is 168 hours, let's say we're doing three or four quick maths, 3 or 4 training sessions a week, then there's 164 other hours in the week where you're either sleeping or, more likely than not, you're sitting down, working, eating, like socializing.
Yeah.
So we need to take, as I said before, we need to take every opportunity we can in order to move, to explore different ranges of motion, to explore different movement patterns and positions. And this contributes to our global health.
Great use of the term global health. This is very good.
Thank you.
And daily walking is like the most understated, underutilized tool. Like, just get out and get moving. Like, if you do your 10,000 steps a day every day, then you are going to be incredibly more healthy than you would be if you did. Like, full stop.
We've had so many people in our community who have not necessarily been training as often, but they've been walking every single day. Yep. And the health benefits of that is staggering, really.
Yeah, it's too simple. Like, it's not sexy. Like, we're told we need high intensity interval training. We're told we need to smash ourselves. We don't. We just need, from a daily movement. Like, if you hit 10,000 steps and do some mobility work, you don't need to do a session. If we want to improve capacity, then we add sessions, but we add something that allows you to be consistent over a long period of time. That's what works. It takes time. Good shit takes time. And I think it's important to understand that from a movement perspective. And then once we've got that health under wraps, and again, I say once we've got the health under wraps, your health doesn't have to be perfect for us to work on performance training. They will work together. Same as, the other big rocks we talk about. But
the beautiful thing about walking as well is that we can walk with other people, we can socialize, we can hit that kind of connection pillar. Mm-hmm. We can listen to a podcast or an audiobook and hit the learning pillar. Or we can go walking without any other stimulus and practice some mindfulness. So
some space.
2 birds, 1 stone.
You know the trick to killing 2 birds, 1 stone?
I don't.
Oh, big rock, little birds.
That's one.
Carry on.
Relevant joke. Awful joke. Awful but relevant. So that's movement.
Yeah. Well, I think the other side we didn't speak about was the training side, and the capacity building performance side of movement, which we'll get into on another podcast. But the way we look at movement, or the way we look at training, is it's same pyramid or similar pyramid we were talking about before. Movement comes first. We want to move well and move often, like you said. We want to be free of pain. If we're free of pain, then we build capacity. And if we can build capacity, then we build conditioning and aerobic capacity on top of that. So capacity is just strength, speed, power, all those kind of things. If, again, we can work on, if we have an injury in a certain area, we can still work on capacity. But what we need to understand is that if we're missing a gap with capacity, then the foundation of that pyramid isn't going to be as strong. So if, for those out there training, make sure what you're doing is actually making you better. That's it. Movement done.
Love it. Yeah. It's just layers, right?
Just layers.
Health comes first, then function, then performance.
Yep, they are layered, but they're also intertwined. So know that if you focus on health, and then you can focus on performance, and know that it'll improve your health if you do it the right way.
Yep, love it.
What's next?
Let's chat nutrition.
Nutrition, good. All right. Well,
super simple. Let's go simple
It's
first.
and this is the thing about nutrition. It's such a deep dive, and there is so much dogma around nutrition that I just don't want to bar of it. But here's the thing: all that matters with nutrition is good quality food. Until you have a specific goal that you want to achieve. So, for example, most of the goals around nutrition are either lose weight, increase weight, so increase body, like improve your body composition to increase like muscle mass, or it's improve performance, right? All three of those, you need high quality nutrition. You need good food, which is important for all your body functions, right? From a health perspective. But if the goal is to lose weight or put on weight, and that's the only goal, and there isn't the health goals that come with it, then all that matters is your energy balance, full stop. Like if you want to lose weight, put yourself in a calorie deficit, full stop. If you want to put on weight, put yourself in a calorie surplus, full stop. Do that for a long period of time and you'll get where you want to get to. Yeah. Learn how to track your food, learn how to track your calories, learn how to measure what you're actually putting in your body, because most of us grossly underestimate the amount of calories we actually eat and the amount of energy we actually eat. And that's all nutrition has to be. And then you start building things around health, which is like, don't subscribe to a diet that cuts out any big chunk of food unless you have a specific intolerance to that food. And I think the most important thing with diet, and sorry to steal all of this, but the most important thing about diet is you still want to eat the food you love. Like we get one life. If you want to eat a fucking toasted cheese sandwich with like 17 different types of cheeses, load up on that because it's probably delicious. But know that
that's my lunch today.
Know that if you want to achieve certain things, there's going to have to be a little bit of sacrifice. You can still eat the food you want, but you've just got to track your calories and make sure that you're not, if you want to lose weight, in that calorie surplus. It's good nutrition is just about like fighting is maybe the wrong word, is the competing commitments between what you want to eat and what you should be eating. Like everyone knows good food and bad food, mostly.
Yeah, for sure.
Be a fucking adult about it and put the right thing in your body. That's it. Full stop.
It's simple when we look at it like that, right?
Yes.
What's healthier, a piece of fruit or a chocolate bar?
Yeah.
And we know the answer. We can try and justify the other way. But we're missing the forest for the trees.
Yes.
And I think one of the biggest things about nutrition is it's just being consistent over time. Like we need to, if we want to see a change in our goals, let's say we've nailed the basic nutrition, quality food thing, then if we want to see progress on whatever goal we have, whether it's body composition, whether it's performance, then it's just a matter of being consistent over time with what we're putting in our bodies.
Yeah, being consistent, but also being precise. So if you've got in your head, okay, well, I need to be in a 10% calorie deficit, and you're not measuring your food, but you're like, oh yeah, I'm in a calorie deficit, but I haven't, I put on 5 kilos. Well, you're not in a calorie deficit. So this is the, you can't, like with nutrition, what's the James Clear quote around your habits? So your outcomes are a lagging effect of your habits, right? If your habits aren't precise and you're not actually in that calorie deficit, then you are not going to lose weight. No matter how much you tell yourself, like the story you tell yourself is built around, well, I'm actually in a calorie deficit. They're not. And they're like, it's so easy for people to argue about that, but it's the case. And I don't give a flying fuck whether you're on a carnivore diet or you're eating vegan or you're on you're intermittent fasting, whatever. It's so simple. You don't have to eat to your body type. You don't have to eat to your blood type. You don't have to eat certain foods when the full moon's coming out. Like, just put food in your body that you know will make you improve your capacity to do things. If you want to drink a beer on a Friday night, drink a beer on a Friday night. If you want to have 5 beers, drink 5 beers. But just know that there's cause and effect to everything we put in our body. There's cause and effect to everything we do, but just talk about the food conversation. There's cause and effect. If you decide to have, and it's all decision based. If you decide to have, an energy drink and a coffee for breakfast, that's going to impact your energy input. It's going to impact the lack of nutrients you're getting, and it's going to impact how you feel throughout the day. It's going to impact whether you achieve your goals that you want to achieve or not. So, food makes me mad because everyone argues over just nuances and like, I don't care what you put in your mouth. I don't care what you put in your body, but just know that there's a consequence to whatever you choose to put in your mouth.
Yes.
Maybe that flippant attitude needs to change, but
there's definitely a discipline component to this. We need to be disciplined with what we put in our bodies, and we need to be disciplined with the decisions that we make. And like with any goal, it has to be measurable, coming back to that precision thing.
Yep.
We need to be able to measure what we're doing. It needs to be realistic. So we can't expect to, if our diet is rubbish right now, then completely shifting gear and going onto cutting everything out of your diet that you are currently reliant upon may not work, because you need to be consistent with that. So
everyone knows yo-yo dieting, what it is and why it doesn't work. And,
yes,
it's all around.
So it's making small changes every day.
Exactly. Making the right decision more often than not. Yeah. Because the last thing you want to do, if you love beers, if you want to get around the boys at Blue Room Brewing, our first sponsor,
shout out.
Then get around enjoy that beer. Don't beat yourself up. Oh no, I just had 3 beers. I'm such a piece of shit. I just had 3 beers. How good was that? Now, let's make sure I'm hydrated, and let's make sure that I have a good breakfast tomorrow. Let's make sure, and in terms of a training perspective, the way I look at food is we talk about pre-workout, post-workout, and all that kind of stuff. Every meal you have is a preparation for what you want to do next. So if I have something shitty for breakfast this morning, there's a good chance I'm not going to feel great throughout the day. And it's going to impact how I'm feeling. Sure, I can supplement with a bulk caffeine, but eventually I'm going to hit the wall. So just eat good food.
We need to eat the way we want to perform. If we want to perform at a high level, then we need to eat high quality food and eat at a high level. Take our nutrition really seriously. It's the same with each of these 4 rocks. If we're really looking after our sleep and really looking after our movement, but our nutrition is through the floor, then that's the low-hanging fruit that we can start to improve on.
Yeah, and it's the supplement conversation, right? If we need to make sure that we're putting good food in our body before we worry about whether creatine is going to help us get that little bit extra. Wait a
minute. So are you saying that supplements are merely a supplement to our diet?
No, I'm saying that, yes, that's what I'm saying.
They're called supplements for a reason.
Yeah, that's true.
The last thing I want to say on nutrition is actually 2 things. 1, be kind to yourself. You mentioned that. And improve your relationship with food. Food is there to nourish us. It's not we can look at it as a tool, but it's also there to provide nourishment and provide happiness. And we share meals with our loved ones. That's another thing that we can kind of connect food to. So that's sort of one thing. But the other thing is, and this is maybe a little bit more tactical, is the 80-20 rule.
Ooh.
If we look after 80% of our diet, but give ourselves a little bit more flexibility over the 20%, then that's a win. And that's coming back to the 20% is having an ice cream after dinner, or having a beer on a Friday night. Or going out with friends and having a burger.
Yeah, days don't really exist anymore. So I had a beer last night and it was delicious. So
play on.
And that's the thing. It's the self-discipline. it's like the self-discipline, self-respecting thing of like put good shit in your body, but then also the self-care of like, if you feel as though this beer will help make you feel better and give you more capacity and more space to do good things tomorrow, then fucking drink the fucking beer or gin.
Feel good, play good.
Oh, look good, feel good, eat good, play good.
I had a drops of juniper gin last night.
Did ya?
Second shout out.
Oh, yeah, good. Just plugging our own businesses. I love it.
Let's talk about hydration, which is pretty much hand in hand with nutrition.
All right, here's hydration, and these are the notes I've written for hydration. Don't be shit. Be an adult. Drink your fucking water. That's it. Drink 2 to 3 liters of water a day, depending on body weight, and then carry on. Carry on with your life. That's it. Put less processed, shitty drinks in your body, like your Cokes and your juices and your whatnots. And the simple analogy or the simple way I like to look at hydration is, what percentage of us are water? Like, depending on what textbook you read, it's like 70 to 80 something, whatever. 70-80% of us are water. Think of all the body processes, all the bodily processes that happen, cellular processes, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Think of how many of those rely on adequate or optimal hydration for them to be able to work optimally, right? As soon as we drop below that optimal level of hydration, the shit that our body does starts to work less efficiently. It's that, whatever way you want to put it. The processes don't work the way they should. Okay, so our body's got to make concessions, and it's got to, pick and choose potentially what it uses the water source for. So just drink your fucking water. That's it. Be an adult.
If you're hungry, eat food. If you're thirsty, drink water.
Drink water before you're thirsty.
Yeah.
And for those listening at home, I'm drinking water right now because I'm a self-respecting adult.
Well done.
Well, it was fun. Like last week for the COVID games, our challenge for the week was drink 3 liters of water a day. And 3 liters is a great aim to start at. Like most people will need maybe two to three, somewhere in the middle there. But it was a big eye opener for a lot of people of like, fuck, I'm not drinking enough water. Everyone's like, I'm peeing all day. I'm like, yeah, you'll get used to that. Like your body will get used to having that extra water there to utilize. Maybe don't drink a liter at once. Give your body like little sips throughout the day. But it showed, the reason why we're talking about big rocks is because a lot of people don't move enough. A lot of people don't eat quality food. A lot of people don't hydrate enough. A lot of people don't sleep enough. And these are the things that will allow us to do all the cool shit we want to do. People come to us and go, oh, I'm not losing weight. I'm like, well, then let's focus on the simple shit. Let's not worry about I want to do more high intensity interval training in our sessions, or I want more core training. I'm like, well, no, you don't. Are you sleeping enough? Are you having your 3 liters or 2.5 liters or whatever it is? If the answer is no, then it's almost come back and let's talk about it when you're ticking that box.
Yes. Yep. So what are some like tactical things that people can do to drink more water?
Well, everyone's going to be different, but I think having that's a very flippant answer, but having a drink bottle with you all day. I use these glass bottles because it feels nice to drink out of a glass bottle.
These bad boys.
Oh yes.
I think this is a liter.
Yeah. So buy a nice drink bottle, or I've reused gin bottles because I like the cork and stuff like that. But I just have 3 of these in the fridge, so I know that there's always going to be chilled water. Or if it's freezing cold, then I just tap it. But I always have this with me, whether it's on my desk if I'm working. We have it on the brekkie counter when we're at Virtus. There, like, there's always have water around you, and just try and have a target to hit. And we break it up. So if I want to have 3 liters a day, by lunchtime I want to have had a liter and a half, which is 2 of these bottles.
Yes. Yep. That's what I was going to say. Break it up into manageable chunks. And another thing that you can do is set alarms on your phone every hour, every half an hour to have a sip of water. Or if that's going to be super annoying, just have an alarm at 10, an alarm at 1, an alarm at 4 to say, this is when you should have at least drunk a water bottle or something. Yeah.
Train yourself to link it with other activities. So it doesn't matter whether it's water drinking or not, but when you do this, you also do this. So it might be, you might go, okay, well, every time I check Instagram today, I'm going to grab a drink of water.
Yeah.
There you go. Just fix the world's hydration problems.
Only, anything more on nutrition, hydration?
No, just make the right decision. Be an adult. And I say that knowing that I don't always make the right decision, right? There's a little bit of tongue in cheek there because I will eat shit food on occasion. I will, drink a beer more than I should. But the majority of time, if you do the right thing, you'll get to where you want to get to. All right. And I can't overemphasize how important tracking your food is if you want to lose weight. Learn that skill because it will stick with you for the rest of your life and change the way you think about nutrition.
Yep. The other thing is probably worth saying is if you are serious about tracking your diet, or if you do have intolerances that mean you need a tailored diet, then go visit a dietitian or a nutritionist. They've studied 3 or 4 years at university to do this. So it's worth going and visiting them and getting an opinion that is qualified.
Yes, don't follow Instagram diets. If I want my car fixed, I'm going to go to Pete Keck, the mechanic. I'm not going to go to Instagram diet.
This guy. Yeah. Awesome.
Right.
Sleep. Talk to me.
What do you want to know? Sleep is the most productive thing we do. This is something that as a, what's the best way to put this? As a driven young professional, not so much now because I'm really working on it as a focus, but early on in my career, starting a business, being a semi-mediocre athlete, all these kind of things, I definitely gave up sleep because I thought I was hustling or thought I was working hard, or I burnt the candle at both ends for a long time. And sleep is the most productive thing we do. If we want to be productive, we should sleep more. That's pretty much it.
Yes.
Which is like, it seems counterproductive. I should spend less time doing the things, but it's this whole Big Rocks conversation has been about capacity. It's been building capacity to do more things, to be more present, to be more aware, and all those kind of things. If you sleep well, if you sleep regularly, like regularly as in the same time, consistently, then your capacity to do things will increase tremendously. And I'm, the argument around I work better at night. I'm a morning person, or I'm not a morning person, whatever. No one's a morning person until you start getting up early in the morning. Like
it's a learnable skill, right?
Yes. Everyone wants to sleep in. Everyone wants to have the extra beer or the ice cream at night. Everyone wants to drink Coke instead of water. We train ourselves out of those habits, but it feels better to do those things. It feels better to hit snooze like I did this morning, and I was late to our walk, so I apologize.
That's okay.
But this is the thing. Like, if we can create of these 4 big rocks, this is the biggest rock. If we can create a great sleep hygiene and sleep cycle and sleep system, then everything else gets better and easier.
Yep. And we talk about there's sleep quantity, which is how long we're actually asleep for, and then there's sleep quality, which is maybe looking at how well we actually sleep. And if
the easiest way to understand that is, how do you feel when you wake up?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you might wake up feeling a little lethargic if you've had a great sleep, but very rarely, like if you've had a great sleep, usually you wake up feeling pretty darn good.
Yeah, I think if you, like, we could talk about this in a moment, but if you wake up in the middle of a sleep cycle, then you might feel a bit groggy. But once you get up, get moving, and you assess how well you slept, then that's maybe a little bit more of an accurate reading.
Definitely. And there's so many apps and tools now that we can use to track our sleep, and to track the quality of our sleep, that is measured by our movement and things like that. So there's no shortage. There's tools for all these big rocks. There's no shortage of sleep tools. And that's the thing. So, there's there's a lot of research out there on sleep, and someone that's really leading this field is Matthew Walker. I always forget which university he works at, but he wrote a book called Why We Sleep, which is immense.
Yep.
And it talks about sleep cycles, and talks about the different stages of sleep and what their role is, and why certain second order consequences come from us not sleeping well, or not getting to bed early, or whatever. So you actually learn a lot about the consequences of not having sleep, rather than just, oh, sleep's good, have more sleep, which is true. But the biggest thing I learned from him was, we talk about sleep hygiene a lot, and no screens an hour before bed and all that kind of stuff. But really, how you spend your day determines how you sleep, and what the things you do throughout the day determine how well you sleep. Like we look at that hour or half an hour before we actually go to bed. We really need to look at the whole day, and we talk about systems last week, and it's around creating a system that allows you to get the best sleep possible. Like, I don't buy, like, he doesn't buy into the fact that some people can survive off 4 hours of sleep. If you want to thrive, you need to have 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Yes, some people can. Sorry, we could all survive off that, but we're not going to be our best selves.
That's it, and it'll catch up. It'll catch up with you later on.
Yes.
Like, lack of sleep has been linked to things like cancer and diabetes and heart disease, and
it is a carcinogen.
And in Matthew Walker's book, he talks about the fact that there's no one process, or every process in the body on a cellular level even can be improved with sleep, or is negatively impacted by lack of sleep. So
yes,
and that's backed by science and evidence. So it's not.
We are slowly dying, right?
One day at a time.
If we sleep less, we are slowly dying faster. That on a t-shirt.
Yeah, we're accelerating that process.
Yes.
And so if we're looking for longevity, and we're looking for to live our life the best way that we can, then sleep is a big rock that we can.
If we sleep
improve.
well, we impact our ability to be less shit. And to make right decisions. And then the movement conversation and the hydration conversation and the nutrition conversation are impacted, because if we're sleeping properly, then we have higher capacity to make those good quality decisions. We've all been, up late at night, whether it be, sitting at home watching a movie or out drinking beers, where we make shitty decisions because we're tired and we're unable to process these things properly. Should we talk about sleep cycles and the different types of sleep? Because I think
let's touch on that. Let's touch on that briefly.
Yeah. So for those that don't know, there are three main. There's 3 types of sleep, right? There's deep sleep, there's light sleep, and there's REM sleep, which is rapid eye movement. Each one has like a specific role. Deep sleep is around information storing. It's almost like you take all the information from the day and it stores it, and it reinforces it. And then light sleep. So deep sleep happens usually as soon as you go to sleep. Okay. So it's imperative that you get to bed early. Most of us would have heard the saying, like, sleep's worth double before 12 o'clock. There is research to back that up. So I work better at night. I'm going to stay up till 2 a.m. doing my work. You are negatively impacting your sleep. Whether you feel as though it's the case or not, Matthew Walker's research has shown that even the people that think they work better at night, they don't. They have a lower ability to make the right decision and things like that. So, buy the book or listen to he's got a couple of Google talks. He's been on Rogan and Ferris and stuff, but.
I think that's how I first heard of him, Rogan.
Yeah, that was one of the biggest takeaways from that. It's just like, even if you think you're fine, you're not. You're decreased. So, deep sleep, information storing. Light sleep's information learning. So it's drawing lines between all of the information that you learn. And then REM sleep, which is where you dream. That's your creative time, creative sleep. That's where you're making sense of all those information and you're combining it all, and your allows you to have creative and emotional insights. So we go through those cycles, those 3 things during our sleep cycles, which in 90 minutes to 2 hours, depending on
Typically,
what you read, and it can greatly impact how we feel when we wake up, if we wake up in the middle of one of those sleep cycles. So this is why creating a consistent sleep block might be 10 to 5 or 11 to 6 or whatever it is, if you want to hit 7 hours, is incredibly important, because then your brain will begin to optimize that block.
Yeah, and there's heaps of tactics and tips and tricks and things that we could tell you in order to get a better night's sleep. Like there's, I don't know, take a hot bath before bed. I'm sure that'll help you fall asleep. But if we are stripping it back to the very basics, to the most simple things that we can start to implement in our day-to-day, it would be to have a consistent sleep routine and have almost like a hygiene routine before you, in the hours leading up to bed.
I think number 1 is just know when you go to sleep, know when you wake up. Don't keep your body guessing. Just tell it what the fuck it needs to do and do it. And then just like create, spoken about boundaries a couple of times on podcasts lately. Like it's creating boundaries around when you want to sleep. Like protect your sleep with your life, because it is life and death for your ability to do the things you want to do. Like if we stay up later than we should, our ability to store the information we learned throughout the day is decreased. If we get up earlier than we should and say miss the light sleep, which tends to happen later on during the night, we lose our ability to retain that learned information. So there's cause and effect to all this stuff, and there's many second and third and fourth order consequences to having a shitty night's sleep.
So definitely having a strict, maybe not a strict, but a fairly regimented sleep routine or sleep schedule is super important. And further to that, I think if you are waking up at 7 o'clock every morning during the work week, and then on weekends you blow out your sleep and wake up at midday, then that's going to affect you going back into that routine the next week.
And sometimes that makes you feel worse as well. Like as much as we want that instant gratification of like, oh, how good is it going to be to go back to sleep? You're going to feel worse. Get up, go get a coffee, and then maybe sneak an hour and a half nap later in the day.
Yeah, I mean, naps are another conversation, I think, but there is definitely value to them if we use them well.
Definitely, and create a sleep almost like a ritual, sleep ritual. So you do this, and then you do this, and then you do this, and then you go to sleep. And you just a quick Google search of like what foods help me sleep, what temperatures does my room have to be at. I think it's like 21 degrees or something. How
much light you need.
So your room. The darker your room, the better you'll sleep. Like no screens will impact your melatonin production. The blue light. You get blue light blockers like these sexy bad boys. Oh yeah, with the blue light reflecting. All these kind of things impact your ability for your body to produce the necessary hormones for it to get ready to sleep. Yes, you can supplement it, but again, supplements are there to fill a deficiency, not to replace the importance of doing these things. Here's a fun fact.
And ultimately,
no, you go.
Yeah, go.
No, you go. I'll tell you my fun fact. It's not interesting. Okay. It's just a little fun.
Okay.
It's a little fun fact. It's not a big fun fact.
We need to downregulate our nervous system as well when we go to bed.
Ooh. Get into
a
sympathetic state.
Yes, the rest, digest, recover state. That's crucial to us getting a good night's sleep and being able to fall asleep easily. If we go to bed and we're wired from watching Cops on TV or
sweaty,
or like we've just come home from a night out, then we need to give ourselves time to downregulate, to tap into the parasympathetic system, and get ourselves ready for sleep. And one of the ways we can do that is through breath work or meditation or mindfulness.
Yes.
Even something as simple as reading a book, even.
Reading a book, gratitude journaling, whatever it is. Breathing is the simplest way. Breathe like some big deep breaths.
Crocodile breathing.
Yeah. Through those, big exhale will make a big difference. On the night out thing, when you eat can also impact how well you sleep. This isn't a conversation about your body storing fat or anything like that, but it just impacts your body's ability to switch everything off. Alcohol is one of the worst things that you can do for sleep. So on the conversation with the beers before, if you need it for your mental health is probably the wrong word. If you need it just to switch off or whatever, understand that, but know that it'll impact your sleep on the other end. So with these big rocks, first order consequence to having the beer is I have a beer. Second order consequence is that I feel better because it allows me to relax. Great. Third order consequence is that it'll affect my sleep. So all of these things have a trickle down effect to how they affect the other things. If you go, oh, I've only had a litre of water today and slam a litre and a half before you go to sleep, probably going to have to get up to piss. So know that all of these things have consequences, and you just need to, almost like cost benefit analysis go, is this beer going to help me more in how I feel? Or is it going to impact me more by how I sleep to impact how I feel tomorrow? And as we know, hangovers just steal happiness from tomorrow. So carry on.
Yeah. Two last things from me on this is caffeine. If you are an afternoon coffee drinker, then and you think that it doesn't affect your sleep, then understand that it probably does. If you
can get to sleep,
down,
it'll impact your ability to have high quality sleep.
Yes, it's more the quality thing. For some people, they just can't get to sleep. Like the quantity will decrease, but the quality will definitely decrease. Yeah,
and caffeine has a half-life of like 3 to 5 hours, I think. So if you have a 3 p.m. coffee, potentially it's still like there's going to be remnants of it in your system 10 hours later.
Yep. The other thing is going outside during the day and getting sunlight.
Ooh, yeah.
Vitamin D, we know that it's good for us. Just being outside, I think, is good for us on like a primal level even. But having exposure to the sun helps regulate our hormones and enables us to regulate our sleep patterns. So go outside when it's sunny. When it gets dark, go inside. Start slipping into that nightly routine.
Definitely. Yeah, and I think just closing thoughts on this, these 4 things, we can argue about which one's more important, but if you do all of them pretty well, then you're well on your way to be able to add capacity down the track. And just know that you don't have to be perfect with it. You don't have to beat yourself up if you have a shitty sleep or whatever, but use these as the foundation to creating the life that you want to live, because I can tell you firsthand that you are a much better person if you've had a good sleep, eat good food, move lots, and hydrate, because I'm a piece of shit if I don't do those things.
Yeah. It's a kindness to yourself and it's a kindness to other people.
Yeah. Don't be shit. And do good things. Keep doing good things.
Yes. I think that's a cool way to finish.
Oh, yeah. And if you need any help on this stuff or want to lean into it or have a conversation around it, please reach out to us, because that's what we're here for. This is what we do. This leads in really well to next week's conversation, which is energy generation. Basically, it's how do I create or how do I generate energy to do all the cool shit I want to do without feeling like I'm relying on borrowed time or relying on caffeine or relying on these things. How can I create space for me to do cool shit? This will be a part of it. Purpose and passion will be a part of it. Intention will be a part of it. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that conversation.
Likewise. It's been fun.
See you, team.
Bit of a longer episode, but I hope there was heaps of value in there for you. See you on the next one.